What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, continuing with my Madden 18, Madden 17 roster reveal. Now, if you're new, you don't know what this series is about, go check out the debut episode, which was the Philadelphia Eagles. For the first couple minutes of the video, I go in depth, but cliff notes. These rosters are my own personal ratings combined with Pro Football Focus. Their stats. Every roster has all the free agents, or most of them, 98% of them. First 3 rounds in the draft, every team has all first 3 round picks. Rounds 4 to undrafted free agent, I've included just the notable guys that I wanted on my rosters. At 35,000 subscribers, I will be releasing these rosters to everyone, all you beautiful people, for free. Look around the web, people are charging money for this. It's ridiculous. I think we're just 300 some people away, so we're getting close. And if you agree or disagree with any of the ratings you see, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below suggesting why I should change them. If you ask nicely like a grown adult, I may be inclined to change it. If you ask like a dickhead, I'm going to be a dickhead right back. But let's jump right into it. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, at the quarterback spot, we gave Jameis Winston an 81 overall. Last season, Jameis Winston finished 9-7 as a record for his starter, 4,000 passing yards. 28 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. So the 18 interceptions are a little too high for me to give him much more than an 81. The turnovers have been a problem for Jameis Winston. Hopefully now with an improved wide receiver core heading into this season, those interception numbers can come down. And he's definitely a guy I'm keeping an eye on for fantasy football. I don't necessarily know if you want to draft him as a QB1, but he could be a guy that you draft as a QB2 that could certainly end up being a QB1. But that's fantasy football. This is Madden. I think the 81 is about fair for Jameis Winston. They brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick just recently, actually, to come in and be his backup. They have Renfree 63 and Ryan Griffin 62. Jump to the running backs. This was one of the more tougher positions to analyze here on this roster because Doug Martin obviously missed a bunch of last season. Played in 8 games, had 421 yards, 3 touchdowns. Doing simple math, if he would have played the full season, he wouldn't have broke 1,000 yards. He would have had 6 touchdowns. So I feel we have to give Doug Martin 83. I know he's sorting some things out in his personal life. I don't know to what extent all those things were. I'm just an outsider looking in. But I think 83 is a good starting point for Doug Martin. We give Charles Simmons an 81. Another guy coming off injury, only featured in 7 games last year, had 150 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 24 catches, 200 yards, and a touchdown. But when healthy, I believe he's one of the more underrated receiving running backs in the NFL today. So I give him an 81. Maybe that could be considered a little too generous, but I think that's about fair. We got Jacquizz Rodgers, old Jizzrod himself here. We're giving him a 79. He looked really good in relief duty. I remember I picked him up as like going back to fantasy football, bye-week replacement. He did work for me, man. Last season in 10 games, 5 of those he started. He had 560 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns to go on with 13 catches and 100 yards. Again, I was really glad that they brought him back, and that's a very competitive backfield. Adding in Jerry McNichols, who is one of my sleepers, one of my favorite running back prospects in this year's draft class. So we gave a 68, which is like the highest grade we give anyone that went, what round are you going, like the 4th or 5th round? That is a very compelling backfield, something I'm definitely going to want to keep an eye on, at least for fantasy sakes. But for Madden, you know, there you go. Fullbacks, we got 2, Austin Johnson and Alan Cross, currently on the roster. I think both these guys are still there. Let me just double check. Yeah, they're actually, no, we have Austin Johnson is no longer there. They have Quavon Hicks, who they brought in, but Alan Cross probably will get the start at fullback if they end up keeping one. The wide receiver spot, we gave Mike Evans a 92 overall, tied for 3rd best wide receiver. Everyone knows he's my favorite wide receiver in the NFL. That is until Alshon Jeffrey balls out and signs a long-term contract extension with the Philadelphia Eagles. Am I right? But last season, Mike Evans had 96 catches for 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. He's a beast, man. He's like pretty much Calvin Johnson now that Calvin Johnson's no longer in the game. And in the league, I'm not saying he's the next Calvin Johnson, but in terms of the play style, he plays like a Calvin Johnson, and I don't take that lightly because I think Calvin Johnson is pound for pound the greatest, most talented wide receiver ever to grace the game. But I think Mike Evans is a beast. I love Mike Evans, and 92 overall, I think that's a fair grade. We give Deshaun Jackson an 87. I try my best not to be salty. I'm not still upset about Deshaun leaving Philly the way he did. Well, pretty much got forced out of Philly. Had a decent year with the Redskins last year, over 1,000 yards, so at 87. But I think this is a perfect fit for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They needed someone like him to complement Mike Evans and this offense. I think that was an excellent, excellent pickup. We got Adam Humphries here, who we gave a 76 overall, emerging as a very solid slot wide receiver. Had 55 catches for 600 yards and 2 touchdowns last year. We got Chris Godwin, who I thought was a great pickup out of Penn State. We're giving him a 72. They got Josh Huff, 69, Dye, 64, White, 63, Martino, 61, and Bernard Reedy here with a 60. Jump to the tight end position, we give Cameron Brate, who we gave an 84 overall last season, coming out of nowhere for 57 catches, 660 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Emerged as a great receiving safety net for Jameis Winston. Everyone knows tight ends are crucial. And then you add in the mix O.J. Howard, who got a 78 overall. I think that might be tied for the 3rd highest rookie overall we gave out. I mean, this is going to be a very intriguing offense to watch this coming season. There's a lot of unknowns, but all the unknowns are trending in the upwards direction. I think this could be the kind of offense that can compete with the likes of the Saints, the likes of the Falcons within their own division, and I'm going to be very interested to see. But, yeah, we got stock here, 68. But overall, I think, yeah, 2 tight end sets. Oof. You basically got 3 tight ends on the field if you do that with Mike Evans. Jumping to the offensive line, left tackle, we gave Donovan Smith here a 69 overall. Pro Football Focus graded him as a 42.4, which is one of the worst starters in the NFL. He is horrific, and I was kind of surprised that they didn't address the offensive line earlier or at all, really, with any of their big picks in the draft, as that left tackle spot is a revolving door. We have Webster here with a 63. At left guard, J.R. Sweezy, we gave him a 76 overall, coming over from the Seattle Seahawks a couple seasons ago. He's serviceable. At the center spot, we have Joe Halley, who does seem like he's hurt every game, but last year Pro Football Focus gave him a 77.6, so we gave him that. Evan Smith actually says here he played a little bit of left guard, and they gave him a 72, so we gave him a 72. Right guard, Ali Marpet, we gave him an 85. Pro Football Focus gave him a high 84, so I rounded up to an 85 overall. We have this guy here at 66. And at right tackle, DeMar Dotson, we gave him a 79. Pro Football Focus gave him a 79. To go with our meme of the Bucks, Kevin Pedophile here with a 71. Jumping to the defensive side of the ball, we gave William Golston a 76 overall last season. He got paid. I thought he was one of the worst contracts in turn. He got paid like good money. And last season, unless he's a beast against the run, which doesn't really show up on the stat sheet, which I said he maybe is, he only got 3.5 sacks and around 50 tackles. So they can't go much higher than a 76. Rookie Noah Spence, we gave him a 75 overall last season. In only 3 starts, featured in 16 games, 3 starts. He had 3 forced fumbles, 5.5 sacks, and 25 tackles. So plenty of upside there for him. Jock Smith, I use ourlads.com a lot. He's listed as the 3rd strong safety. Don't think so, unless I'm really missing something. Sometimes I get it wrong. He's an 82. We give Conte here a 74. And at strong safety, J.J. Wilcox, coming from the Dallas Cowboys, we gave him an 80. This guy here, definitely a bigger hitter than Bradley McDougall, who they had last year. I think he's different dynamic. Big, I mean, I watched it. I get to see him a bunch of times watching the Cowboys play. He's a big hitter. And then we got Justin Evans, who they drafted in the 2nd round with a 68 overall. Kicker Roberto Iguayo was not very good. Only made 71% of his fucking field goals. That's a 68. I think hopefully they brought in someone to be competition for him. They brought in Nick Folk to be competition. So that's going to be a kicker battle. We had one last year in Philly between Cody Parkey and Caleb Sturgis. So enjoy that, Bucs fans. And punter Brian Anger is one of the best punters in the NFL. So we gave him an 83 because we can't give punters that high overall. So, 83 is fair. So there you go, guys. Those are your Madden 18. Madden 17 rosters for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is what it is. If you agree or disagree with any of these ratings, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Yeah, keep subscribing. 35,000 subscribers. These rosters will come to you guys all for free. So keep on doing that. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.